Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to my two memories in the Alzheimer's Research UK memory arena. My first memory is of my little brother, Paul, who died 25 years ago. He was a very poorly little boy. He spent most of his first few years in hospital up until his teens, really, with various problems, predominantly kidney trouble, and he had 3 kidney transplants, one of them from my mum, and he finally seemed to be beating it. And one day he was at home playing on the computer, and my dad got up one morning, asked him if he was okay and if he wanted a drink. Paul said, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'd love a cup of tea." My dad went into the kitchen, made a cup of tea, came back out again, and Paul had died. His main artery below his heart had ruptured, and he died within a few seconds. And it would be easy to remember Paul in his early years on a hospital bed with pipes and machines strapped to him, surrounded by really wonderful and very caring nurses and doctors. But I don't want to remember him like that. I want to remember him, and I choose to remember him doing what he loved to do, and that was DJing. He was a very, very avid and very good DJ, and he would spend many a Friday and a Saturday night at the local discos and nightclubs where he was very well known and very well liked, spinning the decks, and he was very, very good at it. So my first memory is of my little brother Paul doing what he does, or doing what he did best. My second memory is much more recent. Back in 2014, I decided I was going to learn how to fly a plane. And so I went to a local flying school. I jumped in a Cessna 152 Aerobat, and I started learning how to fly. And it was terrifying and exhilarating all at the same time. In 2015, September 2015, my instructor said that I was ready to go up on my own for the first time, and so I did. And this depicts that, of me running down the runway, of taking off, of climbing up to 800 feet and doing a circuit around Netherthorpe airfield, and it was amazing, and I will never forget that. And it's easy to say, I will never forget that, but that's not true, is it? Dementia stops us from making that promise. We can no longer say, "Oh, that was brilliant, I'll never forget that," because dementia takes that away from you, and it will affect 1 in 3 people in the UK, and it's debilitating, and we need to do something about it. And Alzheimer's Research UK are doing something about it, along with many, many, many thousands of other people, and I for one really appreciate that they are. So they are my two memories that are being depicted in the Alzheimer's Research UK memory arena.
Hello, I'm Funky Saturn, and I'm a member of Frill's build team, and I've been in Frillcraft for a good 4 years. This is one of my favourite memories. In a UHC we had the nether turned on, and I had spent a good 2 hours of grinding and collecting the netherite for the team. I had gotten around 5 ingots and I had put them in a chest. The border was approaching, so I told Frill to move the netherite so it didn't get taken by the border. We moved everything over, except for the netherite. It was literally 5 blocks outside the border. We were just staring at it, looking at it through the border, unable to reach it, longingly. I'm pretty sure I shed a tear that day. But it was funny, it was great. Hello, Funky is Saturn again. There have been so many memories, and it's been quite hard to pick one out of all of them. This time I share a memory of the time when Bunny and Frill were streaming, and they were doing some netherite collecting on the Frillcraft server. They had spoken about how Bunny hadn't set her spawn before venturing off. I heard this and proceeded to find them in the nether, and once I had found Bunny, I threw some tokens of undying at her and placed her bed down and swiftly ran away. She said thanks and then clicked on the bed, causing it to explode. The moment this happened, both Frill and myself were in hysterics, and Bunny was calling me every name under the sun. Oh, it was hilarious.
Hello, my name's Embrace the Storm. This is one of my favourite memories of watching Frill and Bunny play a game called Raft. The whole game itself was so interesting, and their dynamic and the way they played it together just stuck with me just so much. And one of my favourite memories is this of Bunny, who every time she got her hands on one of the coins for the vending machine had to spend it on plants, and poor long-suffering Frill just stands and watches while Bunny buys all of the plants possible. And it's just one of those things that stuck with me as a really happy, joyful memory, and I'm very glad to have it. A memory for Vit. Sometimes beauty lies in the small things. At the beginning of this year, I stumbled upon this Minecraft Twitch streamer working on a copper farm. After hanging out in his chat for a few hours, I had such a great time, felt so welcome, and had that indescribable feeling of feeling at home with this group of amazing people online, chatting away and laughing at one of the many derp moments. Sorry, Frill. The moment I heard about his Discord and Patreon server, I joined. One of the rare impulsive decisions I've made, yet one of my best decisions in a very long time. From that night on, I had such an amazing time with all the people in the community, so many laughs. That great feeling made me choose this as my memory, as especially after a long period of mental health issues, I could not have been more grateful for this light. Thank you, Frilioth and Frillcraft, on many more memories to be made.
Hello, my name is Onyx, and I'm from Sweden, and I've been on Frillcraft for a couple of years now. It was really hard to decide on what memory to share because I have so many happy memories on both the server and in real life. But the memory I chose was of me and my family when I was little, going to the beach, where there was these absolutely giant waves, and we were swimming and jumping and playing in those waves for hours until everyone was so cold we were shivering and our lips were turning blue. And I remember on the ride back home, everyone fell asleep in the car of us kids, and it was so fun, and it's something we still share in the family, and hoping every year when we go to the same beach that those waves will show up again. Though they haven't really, but mostly because we've now grown up, so the same waves that were really big when we were small are now kind of smaller. But it's still a very happy memory that I still keep close to my heart.
I'm Deviant Doll, and this is a memory from when my family were on vacation in County Kerry in Ireland. We were staying in a house at the bottom of a hill. At the top of the hill was a small village, and on one corner was a field with some horses. We passed by these horses quite often during our stay. This scene shows little me with my two older siblings. My brother was trying to feed one of the horses. This is just a nice memory of some quality family time.
Hi, I'm Umule. This is a memory I have from Season 2 playing Minecraft on the Frilioth server. A new person named Deviant Doll was joining the server and she had nowhere to live, so I offered her a place to stay at my base in a giant tree. However, I wanted to make her feel comfortable in her new home, so I built a copy of a tent from a Good Times with Scar video right amongst the top boughs of the tree. It wasn't much, but she really seemed to love it. As time went on, this person grew from a new friend into a best friend, into someone that I knew I had a special bond with. Recently, I've had great difficulties in my life, and she was there with me, walking down those scary new paths together with me, being there to lift me up any time I began to stumble. No matter what the future holds, I will always remember the cramped little tent I built, and her joy at having a little place to call her own in that big Minecraft world.
This scene shows the birth of Thanoswood. We had a member on the Frilioth server who was building in the Nether, and he was being repeatedly attacked by magma cubes. And Spotswood, our lovely moderator, thought he would help by doing a command to kill all the magma cubes, but he slightly mistyped the command and ended up killing everything on the server except for the magma cubes, which was a little bit of a shock, but we recovered from it and restored everything. But it's become legend on the Frilioth server now, and it's one of those things that you hope you won't ever forget.
My best memories, which altogether is any time in my life that I spent with my dad. He passed away in his sleep in January 2021, just a week after his 59th birthday. He encouraged my love of reading, imagination, and sense of humor. One of my first book series that I ever read was through his guidance, The Dragon Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey. He taught me that love is the most powerful thing in the universe, and to share my love and warmth with others. I miss him every day, but I know that he's proud that I'm his daughter.
This memory is a group memory. We have so much fun on Friday nights. We've all come to look forward to it as part of our sort of regular weekly activities. Just watching Frill, Bunny and Porky play Phasmo and the just pure shenanigans that happen. It's such a beacon of light in sometimes really difficult weeks. And the community, we all gather around and we enjoy ourselves every week without fail. And all of us hold these memories very close to our hearts.
I'm Deviant Doll, and this is a memory I have of a stream that happened not too long after I joined the Frilcraft community. Frill and Bunny were streaming from their Minecraft Skyblock world. Previously, they had lost the only spruce saplings that they had ever owned, and in this scene they were trying to reach spruce saplings that were outside of the world border. They had to use a whole bunch of techniques to get saplings, but the reason that this stands out as a memory is because of the amount of fun, collaboration, perseverance, and sheer joy when they finally succeeded. It was a great opportunity to get to know Frill and Bunny and the community in a new way.
This scene is a memory for Kaylee, who is remembering the time they were doing free-for-all UHC, and Kaylee found Joy Selena's base unattended. She snuck in and grabbed all the good stuff and ran off before Joy caught her. Soon after that, Joy noticed, but wasn't aware who had stolen her stuff, so she mentioned it in the voice call. Kaylee stayed silent, and Porky made a comment that everyone thought was an admission of his own guilt, so he got the blame for it. Kaylee kept quiet for pretty much the whole match until nearly the end, when she decided it was funny enough to admit, and then everyone was shocked. She was streaming the whole time, so her viewers knew what was going on, but nobody else did. This is a memory for Panqua. I think it was season 2 of Alphacraft when Frill and Smurf had decided to take over a mansion to make their main base. After clearing most of it, they were also trying to move some Vexes to another base, although I can't remember who. For a while, it was just an entire comedy of errors, but the part that really got me laughing was towards the end of the project. Frill had gotten the tracks ready to send down to Smurf that was supposedly going to pick the Vex up en route. So Frill asks, "Okay, ready?" And Smurf, who was still trying to get down to the end point, very exasperatedly responds with, "No, I'm not in position yet." One of many funny moments. This scene is a memory for Joy Selena, who was helping in the kitchen when she was a young girl, and she was trying to use some sugar and the sugar bowl was empty, so she went to get what she thought was more sugar but actually was salt, and she didn't realise. So the baking that she was doing turned out not quite as they planned it to be, and that was the memory that Joy Selena shared with us. This memory is for Mermaid Shambles. We don't, as a community, only play Minecraft together, we play other games as well. And she saw the opportunity to play a Phasmophobia-related prank on some friends on the server and asked for some help with that. But what she wasn't expecting was a bunch of people to just rock up and pitch in with the prank. Because as a community, that's what we do. We help each other with everything, big or small. We're very close, and it shows with what fantastic people we are.
Hi everyone, I'm Bunny and this is my memory of me and my dad. My dad passed away in 2020 and my fondest memory of him is him and his car collection. To the dismay of my mother. See, my dad didn't collect classic cars. My dad liked to collect junk. And he would just stop outside people's houses and ask if their car was for sale, and the crappier the car it was, the better, because that's all he could afford. And he used to take them to our house and take them apart and put them back together and fix them, and if he couldn't fix them, he'd sell them to the scrapyard. But that meant that outside our house we had like 10, 12 cars all the time in our grass. My poor mother never had a rose in her whole life because he just used to drive cars over them. And I love that about him. He's a very unique person and there's a lot more stories, but this reminds me of him, and I hope I never forget that memory. Thank you very much for doing this. Bye.
Hey, so my memory is of Frilioth and one of his fellow alphas at the time, Handy Smooth, now known as Not the Ninth Wolf, and they needed a ghast for the ghast-powered wood farm. So off they trekked into the nether with a fishing rod, and they managed to fish themselves a ghast. They managed to bring it back into the overworld, and said ghast, which they called Boo, powered the wood farm for a very, very long time. And if you want to check out that video, I'm sure it's still on his YouTube channel.
Hi there, I'm UMule. This is a memory I have of Frill and Bunny streaming from their Skyblock server a little over 2 years ago. I was fairly new to the stream at that point, and I loved watching the two of them interact. They really seemed to have great chemistry. I thought perhaps that they might be something more than just stream partners, but they kept that fairly close to the vest. It was very late for them as they'd been streaming for over 6 hours, and they were just trying to finish up a storage area. Bunny had just run out of the light grey terracotta she needed to complete the build. Unbeknownst to her, Frill had been making a fresh batch of the terracotta, knowing that she would definitely be needing it. When he revealed what he was doing, Bunny said, "Really? Oh, you're the best. I knew there was a reason I liked you." After that, there were more subtle hints that the two of them had quietly been in a relationship. They are two of the best people I know, and I couldn't be happier for them. This memory always reminds me that it can be fun to play games, but that fun is always multiplied when playing a game with your best friend.
Some of my favorite memories have to be when my family watched movies together at home. There'd be up to 7 of us watching movies at a time in our family room. We got really good at making a little family theater for us to enjoy. The parents got the couch, so all of us kids would make our own little nests from blankets and pillows to watch the movies on the floor. We'd pop popcorn, get all the snacks and chips that we wanted, and bring glasses and a pitcher of water so that we could be all set up in our own individual ways. When we had a baby or toddler in the mix, we made sure that they had all their blankets and snacks and whatever they needed and their toys behind the couch to stay busy and happy. We watched so many movies this way as we grew up. As we got older, it became harder to do this as a family activity, so those memories are pretty special to me.
This scene shows a memory that a lot of us have shared together. Frill and Bunny playing on their Minecraft world, they were exploring and found a desert temple. And in the desert temple, Frill found what's called a notch apple, a fantastic item. And Bunny, being the mischievous, lovely woman that she is, decided to play a prank and light the TNT that's underneath the temple. But in doing so, she hid herself behind the least resistant block in the game and managed to not only blow up Frill and lose the apple, but she also blew up herself and all of the other loot that was there. And it was just one of those hilarious moments that stays with you forever. Hi, my name's Embrace the Storm. This memory is my first memory of watching Frill, Bunny and Porky play games together, and I was new to Twitch and I find it hard to meet people and interact because I get really awkward. I have social anxiety and depression, and it's difficult just to get out there. And one of the themes of all these memories is how welcoming the community is, how welcoming Frill and Bunny are, and how much fun we have just laughing at everything. And this memory will stick with me because through this community I found friends and support in a way that I've never really had before. So I'm very grateful to them.